Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snurdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the GOAT, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she's taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snurdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snurdy, ooh. Black and Snurdy, yeah. Black and Snurdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snurdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together and shoot the shit. I, of course, am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned nerds here on episode 134 of the Black and Snurdy podcast. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
We are kicking off the podcast for the year 2025. 2025, do or die?
I don't want to die.
Okay, then do.
Yeah.
Yeah, do.
Do and thrive.
Fine. Do and
thrive.
Fine. 2025, do and thrive. How are you doing?
I'm tired. It's how I'm doing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm just trying to kick off this new year with getting things in motion. I do feel like, January, even though January is the start of the Gregorian calendar new year.
Gregorian.
I do think it is important for us to remember that January 1st is not the only New Year's. We have various New Year's coming on throughout the rest of this year, like Lunar New Year. We have Nigerian New Year's. We have just New Year's from various cultures.
When is Nigerian New Year's?
I believe it's specifically, I think Yoruba New Year, I think, is in July. But
I didn't realize that Yoruba was on a different calendar.
Well, if you're using, like certain cultures have the calendars that they've been using. Like I actually, the other day, I was looking at what year it is in various countries because of the calendars. And let me see let me see if I can find it again. Because it's like, if you are following the Gregorian calendar,
yes,
which is what most people use, but in the Hebrew calendar, I believe we're in like year 5,785. The Chinese calendar, I think we're at 4720, and in the Ethiopian calendar, we should be at 2017. So I think that is very interesting because there's so many different calendars. So I think that we can recognize that there are various New Years throughout the year. So, like, yes, we should start planning and thinking about, for us, of course, because we celebrate the Gregorian calendar, but not to put so much pressure on ourselves. Because if you think about it, like these timelines and calendars and things, they were also associated with different times of the year. So, like, even though it's January 1st, it's very cold, and in the wintertime, is a time of that traditionally was rest and waiting out the cold for your harvest to come through in the spring. Like, some people didn't celebrate the New Year until like March, because that's when spring is coming and things are being planted and coming up. So I think that it's like we can just take things slow. It's freezing outside.
It is very cold outside.
It's been probably 30-something degrees the last week, and I just feel like we don't have to put so much pressure on ourselves to like get a bunch of things done. And I was actually looking at, they have, I don't know if you've heard of Quitter's Day.
Quitter's Day? Is that in relation to resolutions?
Yes. So apparently, I was looking online just to see about like New Year's resolutions and how often people stick with them, etc. And this company called Dive Research did a study, and they said 23% of adults quit their New Year's resolutions by Quitter's Day, and Quitter's Day is supposed to be the second Friday of January.
Oh, wow. Not even that far into the New Year's.
Not even, because, I mean, if you think about it, when people are like, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, I'm going to be working out every day, I'm changing everything I eat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a lot of pressure. And so they say that, like, by the end of January, 43% of adults have quit on their resolutions, and that 92% will not follow through on their resolutions at all. So that's only 99% of Americans have kept their resolutions throughout the year from last year's study. And 3 in 10 Americans have made a resolution last year. So just being mindful of those. And they said that some of the main reasons why the New Year's resolutions don't last, they felt pressured to set a New Year's resolution because they've set like too many goals, like 3 or more goals. 22% said they followed their resolution by the end of 3. They followed their resolution for 3 months. And the main ones are improve fitness, improve finances, improve mental health. And then, like, you know, it goes down from there. And the reason why they found that the resolutions don't last is because people are getting really overwhelmed. Because if you don't break down your goals, then it's just like, oh, I want to do all of these things. Like, if you want to lose weight, that is a great goal to have, or specifically like to get healthier is a great goal. But I think that we as a people are impatient. So it's like, if after, you know, maybe a month or 2 of your going to the gym and you've changed your eating habits, you're drinking all this water, et cetera, if you have not necessarily seen, you know, a change, then people will be like, well, what am I doing all this for? And also setting like unrealistic expectations, because you can't go from someone who's eating fast food every day, you never cook, you never work out, you're not doing any of these things, to expect to have the ability to eat as if you're, you know, an Olympian. And even when you look at like the way that a lot of these people who are maybe very healthy and fit are eating, it's not like they're necessarily like just depriving themselves of everything. It's just in moderation. So some of the ways that people can keep their resolutions going, not going on it alone.
Having like some sort of accountability partner.
Yeah, having accountability partners, not setting such high expectations. Also having resiliency and persistence, and not just giving up on something because it's hard or it's out of your comfort zone. Trying to manage your time, manage your money, creating an actual plan, finding ways to motivate yourself, believing in yourself, taking out, removing situations where you might feel pressured to fall back on your resolutions, and also set reminders, because you could also just forget. And I think that that's important regardless of when it is that you're doing it. But I think I think we should set goals for ourselves at the beginning of the year, and, you know, throughout the year, whenever that may be. Like, I like to set goals for myself, like for my birthday, because that is my new year, because I'm turning a new year older. So there's things that I want to think about, that I want to do, and the goals that I want to achieve. But it's like, you can't just have a goal without a plan and without any sort of mindfulness of how you're going to do that. Because if you do fail to plan, or it's that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Sure.
My teachers in high school used to always say that.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yeah, it's just like how my father has the fuck, what is it? Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Exactly.
The 5 Ps.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like I think that's something that we should think about, regardless of whether it's a goal for New Year's or anything else. That you need to have a plan for yourself, a plan for your life, a plan for anything, or else things are just gonna go awry.
Now, with that being said, do you have any resolutions for the new year?
I do have some resolutions that I'm trying to, I guess, both solidify and make sure that I'm not being unrealistic about. I would say that my main resolutions are the same ones I have throughout the whole year, but mainly just to get healthier in all aspects. It's not explicitly about like losing weight, but just being like healthier, eating healthier, drinking more water, ensuring that I'm like taking my meds, and being like mentally healthier, physically healthier, spiritually healthier, et cetera, so that I can ensure that I'm reaching the goals that I'm setting for myself throughout the rest of the year.
Okay. So how about, well, I was going to ask you, since you just got finished going over it, have you broken down your get healthier resolution into like obtainable objectives or like certain steps that you're going to take? Like how have you been, well, we're recording this on the 5th of January. 5
days into the new year.
We're 5 days in. What steps have you taken in order to get to your resolution state?
Well, I haven't written down, which is one thing that I would like to do, is just write down what my goals are.
You said you have written down.
I have not.
You have not written down your resolution.
So that's one thing that's been on my to-do list, is to write down what my goals are, and then go down through them and state, because like a few years ago, I did this professional development program, and when we would set up like what we wanted to do, and it's like you're setting up like what my goal is, and then 3 things that I need to do in order to achieve that goal. And I felt like that was very helpful, because then it's breaking it down into the smaller steps, which I think in general is a helpful advice. Because it's like saying, okay, I want to eat healthier, but what does that mean?
Sure.
So it's like, if I'm saying, okay, I want to eat healthier, then that means that, like, one, I need to be grocery shopping and cooking my own food, or only eating out once a week and cutting out, like, X foods from my diet and drinking more water.
Sure.
So that there's something, like, actionable for me to have, and not just having these, like, lofty ideas that can be kind of in the moment moved or changed, etc.
Yeah. So far you haven't done, like, I mean, it sounds like you haven't at least written them down yet.
No.
Okay.
So
have you? What have you done?
I've thought about them.
Oh, okay. So you've thought about your resolutions.
I've thought about my resolutions.
Okay.
What I want them to be.
You've narrowed it down to what you want it to be.
Yeah.
You just need to write it down and actually put them into motion.
Yeah. What I want to do is to write them down, and then also make I've been making a virtual. I've made a virtual vision board for myself.
Okay.
But
a lot of vision board making going on, like with a lot of my friends. Shout out to Danny and KV.
I think vision boards are important, because having a visual reminder of what you are pushing towards is helpful.
Sure.
So it's like, I remember in high school, I had these pair of jeans that I really wanted to wear, and when I first bought them, I couldn't really fit in them. And I put them up on my wall, and like I would look at them, and I was like, I'm going to be able to wear these by X or whatever.
Sure.
And so it was like every day, it was like a constant reminder, this is what I want, this is my goal. And then, by the whatever, summertime or whenever it was, I was wearing the jeans, and I felt like a sense of accomplishment. Even remember when I had that huge vision board a few years ago?
At your old apartment?
At my old apartment.
Yes.
And so,
I vaguely remember.
When I would,
was it yellow?
Your
walls were yellow.
My walls were yellow, and then I had this huge vision board, and I would just stare at it all the time and I would just like move it throughout the house so that I would be constantly reminded of like, this is what I'm working towards. And there were so many things that I was able to like, check off the vision board that I had done, because when you think about like manifesting your life and manifesting your dreams, if you do not see it, like you can't really achieve it. And that is the purpose of like both writing something down so you have it there, and then also putting something up so that you can see it, and so that you're constantly being reminded of like, this is what I'm heading towards.
Okay, then. So what is currently on your vision board or your virtual vision board?
On my virtual vision board?
Yeah, you said you had a virtual vision board, right?
I have things like
health related, like
affirmations. I have health related things.
Okay.
I have pictures of things that remind me of what I'm moving towards, or have images of things that are connected to like a goal I have, like something like a podcast, a thing is on there, or
is it on your phone or is it on your laptop? Or can you access it via both? Okay,
yeah. It's on my Pinterest.
Oh, it's in your Pinterest. Okay, yeah. All right.
Do you want me to show it to you?
I was just curious. Like, you have this virtual vision board. I was a little curious to see what it looks like.
Is it because you don't believe that I have a virtual vision?
That is not the reason why. I literally just wanted to see what it looked like.
Alrighty, hold on 1 second. I will find it for you.
Well, while you're doing that, I don't really have a lot of resolutions this year. My only one real concrete one is financial in nature, and that's to clear out my affirms. Mm-hmm. I currently have a certain number of affirms that are currently active. For those of you who don't know, affirm is like a payment plan, like layaway, which I kind of went crazy over the last year, buying things using Affirm. Some of them was for like trips and for hotels, for the various places that we ended up going to, which I'm still paying off. But then a lot of smaller ones was just Amazon orders, just making sure that, and honestly, I always justified it by saying that these are essential things that I need to purchase for the apartment. Mm-hmm. I didn't go like, ooh, I'm gonna buy like a slew of new clothes and stuff with Affirms, but by the end of the year for the Jamaica trip, I did use Affirm to purchase like some stuff. So I was just like, well, there goes my justification out the window. So I want to be able to clear them out. I'm hoping to do that little by little. I have like a notebook with a plan in place.
Can I see your plan?
I don't have the notebook with me. The notebook is at work.
You touched the plan, so
no, my bad. Sorry. It's a notebook like this. It's just that I could bring it home tomorrow after I come back from work and show it to you. But yeah, it has a layout of all of my affirms, how much each of them are, how much is left, how much in what order I need to pay them off. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like it's gonna be a mixture of paying off the least amount left over, and the ones with the least amount of time left on them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it'll be a mixture of those two elements. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm hoping to, if not fully pay them off by the end of the year, then reduce by half, because I literally added it up, and it's about I don't want to say the figure, but it's a certain amount. It's a certain amount of money, like, each month going just to affirms, and I would like to reduce that so that I could actually save some money. Like, that's the bigger overarching resolution, to get myself into a place where I can actually save some money and not necessarily live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think a great goal. And maybe we could do some goal setting and vision boarding together so that we can break down all these things and make sure that we are also not doing it solo, that we're doing it together, so that we can be accountability partners for our goals. Because I think that when your goals are important to you, those are important to me, and I would say vice versa. Because I think anything that will make us fulfill it, when you're able to fulfill goals, it makes you feel better, you feel happier, and you feel more in control of your life. And I think that is something that we can all benefit from.
And also part of that is not adding on any new affirms. So, like, for any, let's say, thing that I need to purchase on Amazon, only using the money that I have in order to purchase it, as opposed to opening up a new affirm. Like, even if it's just for a $50 thing, I want to make sure that, like, yeah, I have the $50 to purchase this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a good financial goal is to buy things with the money that you have, unless it's like a really large purchase, because doing things where it's just like spending like $100 for random stuff that you don't necessarily need is like, it might be good in the moment, but like, what are you doing with that when it's months from now or years from now when you could have been using it for something else?
I should have thought about that when no, I used the affirms for the Jamaica trip purchases.
But I think that's kind of like
gold swim shorts and luau shirts and shit.
I mean, it did, but it's like, those are things like, yes, at the moment, it did end up working out well. It was nice, and it was much appreciated.
Thing 1, thing 2 shirts.
It was much appreciated. But I think that one thing that, like, credit does to us, regardless of whether it's like a credit card, if it's a firm, Avant, whatever, any of these Klarnas.
The R&B singer?
No, it's a one of those things. It's like a loan or credit or whatever.
Oof. Yeah, don't tell me about it.
All these things, they just put us more in debt. I feel like there was something that came out last year, and it was talking about the rise of affirms and like these, what is it called? The buy now, buy later, and how so many of us millennials and, like, I guess now Gen Z, because they're getting older, that it is something that is keeping us stuck and in debt. Because, one, it's not like we have, a majority of us, regardless of what, even if you are making $100,000 a year, things are so expensive. Like, even going grocery shopping with it was $60, you could go grocery shopping even pre-pandemic and be able to come home with like at least a week of full groceries and be able to get your staples, like maybe some snacks and fun things. Now you go to the grocery store and a dozen eggs could be like $10 or more.
Oof.
And milk is like $8, and not even like fancy milk, just like regular milk. And I think these are the things that create debt for us that is like unsustainable, and it's not even like, the good debt that you could have, because at least like a credit card, not to say that credit cards are great or that we should be using them all the time, but at least they will they could add towards your credit score so that you can, maybe buy a house later, get a car, etc. But like these buy now, buy later, they don't do anything for you.
No, they don't.
Except for put you in debt.
Put you further in debt.
But
you got 16 affirms. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt.
But it's true, because especially when it's like, oh, I could spend for Klarna, you can go on Fashion Nova, and instead of spending the whatever $100 on your Fashion Nova,
Klarna is the devil, by the way.
Right there, then it's like, oh, I only have to pay $23 a month for this clothing haul I'm gonna get, and you're thinking, oh, this is great.
Klarna's worse than that. Klarna's every 2 weeks.
If you're doing it all the time, next thing you know, that $23, how many times have you done that? Now it's equaling to even more than what you would have just spent originally. And then who knows if you ever accidentally miss a payment or something else goes through, or you have any other money emergency, and you're just stuck in that hole. But I think that it's like we already have to deal with so many financial ups and downs for our generation, and that these buy nows, buy and pay later, like they're helpful for things like maybe if you're buying a flight for something that you need to go to, but like the everyday purchases, I was seeing you can use Klarna on Uber now. Could you imagine using Klarna for like Uber Eats?
I was thinking like maybe for the grocery delivery Uber Eats.
I don't know. I saw it and I didn't even click on it because I don't want to know anything about it.
Because that seems dangerous.
It is. And like,
if
okay,
I'm like, I guess I'll order 3 crab bags
with extra lobster
and all of the desserts and all of the beverages. Fucking,
it's too much.
That's ridiculous.
So I went on Forbes because I was looking for the article that I was reading, and they said that the buy now, the impact on retailers and the economy for buy now, pay later is that there's increased conversion rates because retailers, they put that buy now, pay later, and they see more people are buying things. Larger order numbers, because if you're telling me like, oh, it's $500, but you could pay $50 every 2 weeks or whatever, that makes it seem like, ooh, that's a steal, that it's really not. So you're spending more versus if you see like, oh, my cart's going to this much, I'm going to start clicking stuff out. And then they can attract a larger customer base, which includes like young people, like millennials and Gen Z and Gen Alpha or whatever. But the economic implications are short-term economic stimulation, because even though people might be buying things right now, the flexibility to manage their finances is impacted. And there could be a potential for increased spending, which can drive the economic growth, but that is not sustainable. Long-term debt cycles.
Yes.
Because the potential for a long-term impact on economic stability rises. And it's similar to the credit bubble concerns of the past, because if customers overextend themselves, it could result in an uptick in defaults. Regulatory and market stability, because the surge in buy now, pay later's popularity has caught the attention of regulators who are concerned about the lack of oversight compared to traditional lending, because with the credit card, you still have to go through so many hoops, which can be a good thing to make sure that you're not being, having predatory practices to you.
Sure.
And then consumer spending trends, because it may shift purchasing habits from necessities to discretionary goods. Like we were saying, if you're spending it on like a flight, which is a much larger purchase that you could pay over time, which people usually use like credit cards for, and you're using that now for like your Uber or just like buying clothes, or like you said, Amazon.
Yeah. It
is not helpful.
Yes.
So I think that these are the things that I feel like we should be thinking about and looking at when we move forward into 2025 for our various goals. To think about like, what is it that I'm doing? Like, what am I spending? What am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I spending my time on? So that you're not getting sucked into these. I mean, they are some in various ways.
They're traps. They're financial traps.
They're traps in all ways. Like, it's whether it's a financial trap, whether it's a food trap, like a time trap, because all these things, like someone thinking about all the times we spend like on our phones and we're just scrolling, or we're on, watching videos about nothing, or doing things that are not adding to anything that we find interesting or that's adding to any of our goals.
Sure.
And you have to think about, like, why am I doing all of that? And it's because, like, you just feel like, what else am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, trying to find dopamine in other ways. Finding your dopamine through taking a walk or reading a book. Do some coloring or something instead of spending money on things you don't need and eating things you don't actually really care about, or scrolling things that you don't care about.
Folks, where's the lie?
Yeah.
But are there any things that are not like, are there any goals you have that are like, I don't know, not like serious goals that you have for this year?
What, you mean like a silly goal?
Yeah.
Are you asking if I have a silly goal? Yeah, to lose weight. That's a silly goal
Why
for
is that?
me.
That's not silly.
That is extremely silly.
Why is it silly?
Because okay. The reason why it's silly for me is that certain criteria would need to be met in order for me to be in the mind frame to exercise, and at not just at this rate, but at present and at trends, it is not gonna happen.
Well, I think that if you tell yourself it's not going to happen,
It's
not gonna happen.
not me telling myself. It's situational. I
No,
would say.
but there's other, like, there's many ways for you to work out outside of your, I think if you're being stuck to one particular way, then maybe it might not happen if you're expecting something to only be one way.
But that's the way that works for me.
But you don't know if that's the only way that works for you. That's the only way that you want to try. Coming out of your comfort zone
it's
is
not
also a way.
I wouldn't say that it's a matter of comfort zone. I think it's a matter of tried and true trial and error. Like, I know what works best for me in the situation that works best for me.
For you, if you don't try any other way. If you don't ever go out of your comfort zone, you're never going to know whether something
Keep
else...
saying comfort zone.
Because it's
like,
a comfort
I don't
zone.
think that it's a comfort. First off, there's nothing comfortable about exercising.
Yeah,
like,
but
exercising is the most uncomfortable. You're retching your body in different angles in order to hopefully get bulges on your body that pop out so that you can bounce them around.
But I think what I'm saying in comfort zone, like, okay,
specifically talking about the pecs.
For me, I know that, like, my comfort zone for working out is working out with, like, other people or in, like, a class situation. It's uncomfortable for me to work out in other ways. But if I don't ever try to do those other ways, then I'm never going to know if I'm able to do it, because otherwise I'm only sticking to something and being so rigid. If we're always being rigid and this is the only way that I could do it, then we're not thinking outside of the box to try and figure out how we can do things, and then we're always just going to be disappointed because we're never able to meet that goal.
I think there's some benefits to rigidity.
I think that
rigidity gets a nasty, like, look at a lot of people just because it is, like, some people figured out a way to do a thing, and, like, that's the way that works for them. Like, you know what I mean?
There's also benefit in being flexible, because sometimes, for whatever...
Well, that's why I'm not doing yoga.
For whatever reason there may be, you may not have the ability to stick within the confines of your rigidity, so you have to be able to be flexible. And that is for any area of life. We have to be able to be flexible.
Now, in other areas of life, I would say I'm flexible. It's just that this one area is just because I know myself and I know what works. And, like, it's been tried and true. It's worked in the past. It's worked, like, I could say it's worked currently. And it works in the future. Like, I know I know myself enough to know what works. It's enough of self-awareness within me to know what works.
Is it self-awareness?
It is self-awareness.
Is it just stubbornness?
It's not stubbornness. I think it's self-awareness.
There's a thin line between self-awareness.
No, that
and
line is
stubbornness.
fat. It's a fat fucking line.
It's a very thin line.
No, it's not.
And because if you can always,
Oof, never mind. I was about to say something very mean.
Always just say, oh, this is just how I am, then you never take the time to see how other ways that you can be.
I want you to remember that you said that. I want you to remember that you said that.
I'm going to remember that I said that.
I want you to remember that you said that.
Because if you're
I'm going to apply that to you later on.
Do that. But
for your own self.
But if you're not ever thinking outside the box, then you're always going to be stuck doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to try different things to say whether or not they don't work.
Okay. All right. Do you have a silly resolution or a less serious resolution, I would say?
Do I have a less serious resolution?
Go through every procedural that has ever existed.
Well, that could be one of them.
I knew it was bad when you started watching Crossing Jordan.
I like Crossing Jordan.
I had only and by the way, like, I'll know it's even worse once you get to like Medium or what was the other Medium style show?
Medium or
Ghost Whisperer.
Ghost Whisperer. I never really loved Ghost Whisperer.
Touched by an Angel or some shit?
No, I wouldn't want to watch Touched by an Angel.
Was that on NBC or was that on PAX?
I forgot about PAX. I forgot about PAX TV. What was on PAX TV network?
Wasn't that?
Oh, because PAX TV is now Ion TV.
Oh, is it really?
It must have gotten bought out.
Wasn't that show about the newspaper that predicted the next day's events and
What?
the dude had? Remember that show about the dude? Early Edition or some shit like that. It was
a TV show
about the newspaper that predicted
newspaper
tomorrow's.
Predicted the future?
The future, yeah.
Early edition.
Ha! I got it.
Wow.
I had it right there. Boom, boom, boom,
And
boom,
it had
boom, boom,
who is
boom.
that? Who is that? Okay, it was created by Ian Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. It was on from 1996 to 2000.
Oof, man. 4 years. 4 long years to make an impact.
I remember this guy. Kyle Chandler was on it.
Oh, yeah, he has that like happy cry face, or that cry face that looks happy.
He kind of looks like the guy from. It's not Serenity. Oh man, what was that TV?
Not Nathan Fillion.
Yes,
he
that's
looks
who
like
it is.
Nathan Fillion.
He kind of has like a Nathan Fillion look about him.
No, he does not.
A little bit.
I have to disagree, and we can agree to disagree. But
I'm trying to. I
Disagree.
don't remember the show. Like I remember, I'm looking at.
Shout out to anybody who remembers Early Edition on PAX.
His name is Gary Hobson. He gets tomorrow's newspaper today. He doesn't know how. He doesn't know why. All he knows is when the Early Edition hits his doorstep, he has 24 hours to set things right.
I'm surprised that, first off, 2 things. 1, I'm surprised you don't know this show just because it seems like something that would be up your alley. And 2, I'm surprised that you don't read like actual physical newspapers.
Well, I mean, I read them online, but I do like physical. I prefer physical newspapers and magazines.
Oh, Severance is coming back.
I haven't even watched. When did you watch it? We haven't had Apple TV in a long time.
I know, it hasn't been around in a long time. I watched all of Severance.
When?
What do you mean when? Like when I had Apple TV. Which, by the way, and it's not. It looks like I won't be able to have Apple TV unless I buy it, and I don't know if I want to buy Apple TV.
Well, Early edition.
I have
only on
literally
Amazon.
everything else except for Apple TV.
Why don't you get it back from your friend?
Well, she'd have to come over here and put her
Why?
stuff.
She just has to give the information and you just log in while you're on the phone. She'll tell you what the code is and that's it. It's not that hard.
I'll text her, see if I can get
You
her Apple TV.
see what I'm talking about? Being flexible and trying new things.
Well, it's a first off, it's not rigidity. It's a way to kill two birds with one stone. I get to see my friend. She gets to give me her Apple TV. Everybody wins. Like it's a boom boom boom. You knock out two birds with one stone sort of situation. Hooray!
Either way, I'm trying to think if I have a silly one. I guess one of them would be like to do more arts and crafts. Like do more of those things because I find enjoying them to be like painting more or drawing more, whatever.
Did you send your father the thing?
I have to do that tomorrow because I did not do that yet.
Did you also finish the other thing?
No, because that room has been occupied and I haven't had much time.
I mean, but you can go in there.
Yeah, but when I'm in there, it's not like I'm not restful. It's like a lot of shoeing and like trying to rubbing. It's not like a simple thing. And no, I have not finished it yet.
Okay.
So yes, my silly one this year is to do more arts and crafts.
I guess my other silly one is to finish that goddamn Joseph Campbell book that I've been trying to finish for.
These are not silly
ever.
things. I feel
That
like they're
is
not
silly.
Not silly.
It is silly. It's because I've been trying to read the same book for. It's like
Yeah,
how
read the
it's like how my
audiobook.
grandfather tried to read Hunt for Red October, but every time he'd get like to chapter 1, he'd get through like half of chapter 1, and he'd fall asleep every time.
Listen to it on audiobook. I
Who,
have Audible.
him?
Yeah, no, I have Audible.
My grandfather is not.
I'm not talking about your grandfather. I'm talking about you.
Oh, that seems kind of dry. That seems like a dry book to be reading for. And actually, let me Google to see if it even has an
I'm
audiobook.
sure it's
Here
on
with 1,000
Audible.
Faces.
I think I have that on Audible, to be honest.
1,000 Faces audio book.
Yes, it's on Audible.
Okay. All right. I'm sure I have some Audible points or some.
I have
stupid
Audible.
shit. You're paying for Audible?
No, I have it for free
How do you have Audible for free?
because I used to work there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Anyhow, yeah. So that's I guess that's our resolution corner.
We didn't have a corner for it. You just wanted to call it a resolution corner?
Yeah, it's a resolution corner. Why not? Well, first off, we're in a corner.
We are
So,
a corner. Yes.
and we were talking about resolutions. So,
Okay, wait, no, I have a question.
resolution corner.
Do you have any anti-resolutions?
What does that mean?
Like,
Please explain.
okay, like a resolution of like, oh, these are things I'm definitely gonna do this year. Do you have anything that you're like, I'm
Not
definitely
gonna do?
not gonna do this year? Like, I just refuse.
Well, because resolutions can be quitting things as much as it is like taking on new things, right?
Yes.
So it's not really much of an anti-resolution. Just like, am I quitting anything or am I stopping things?
Or whether it's quit, like, okay, I'm gonna, like, you could be either quitting or like, the anti-resolution would be either like, I'm definitely going to continue drinking soda every day, or I'm definitely not gonna be doing yoga at all. Like, anything that you already are doing or we're not doing that you're definitely going to be doing into this new year.
I guess it kind of falls under the category of silly.
Okay.
Cut down on my masturbatory habits.
You'll find a way to somehow
What?
bring in.
Yeah. Look, I want the world to
Self-pleasure.
understand who I am as a person. All right? And look, on this microphone, there should be a level of vulnerability
Yes.
that should be acceptable.
It is acceptable. It's
And
acceptable.
I am nothing if not vulnerable when I am
comes
on
to
this.
masturbation.
Not when I'm massive. Well, I mean,
You
technically,
are kind of vulnerable at that time.
yeah, you are very. It's the most prone you could actually.
It's a little
be.
death.
Yeah, it's a little what?
The little death.
The little death.
Because in French, I believe when you translate orgasm, it means like the little death.
That's so grim.
Because you're
That's
like,
so grim.
you know, it's like you're having
Your
this
body is as close to
out-of-worldly
dying
experience.
as possible.
No, it's just you're having this outer-worldly experience, and it's like, you know, the little death. I don't know. I'm not French. I didn't make it up.
I can't imagine it's a little death when you're hovering over a toilet.
Why are you hovering over a toilet masturbating? Are you masturbating at work?
So, no, first off, hello, and
Are you masturbating in the bathroom?
yeah, why? Yeah, so that I don't have to clean up. I mean, obviously, you're still gonna need a piece of tissue, but like,
Well,
but
why
yeah,
don't
you
you
just
do it in the shower?
what?
Why don't you just do it in the shower?
Well, because unfortunately, our shower has a habit of
La
backing up.
petite mort
La petite mort.
is an expression that refers to a brief loss or weakening of consciousness, and in modern usage referred specifically to the post-orgasm sensation. As
Okay, so it's
death.
post-orgasm,
Yeah.
not
It was
even
first-
the actual orgasm.
First used.
When you get your senses back.
It was first used. The expression was first used in English in 1572, with the meaning of fainting fit. Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
But yeah, as I was saying, like
Why can't you stand in the shower with your you know?
you want to say pud.
I wasn't gonna say pud.
Yes, you
I
were.
was gonna say your sperm in the shower.
Yeah. Our shower has a thing of
So who
backing up
cares?
the. I don't want that around my feet.
Why it's coming out of you? Why? Who cares?
What the? I don't want that around my feet.
Why not?
What do you mean? Why not?
Why not?
Like
It's
look,
yours.
Yeah. Look. Listen. The shower is.
It's gonna rinse away.
But it's gonna hover around your feet because our shower has the tendency to back up and not go down all the way, and now you're just surrounded ankle deep.
You're not
in
ankle
jizz.
deep in jizz. It's not like the
Or
whole
fine,
shower
jizzy
is
water.
filled
How
with
about that?
jizz. It's not freaking Scary Movie.
It's still in the water. It's in the water, and that's gonna be the title of the episode. It's in the water. Yeah, it's in the water.
All right. Well, all right. Something that I am going to continue to do this year is
I thought your thing was gonna be what are you stopping? What are you not doing?
Anti-resolution.
This is an anti-resolution.
Yeah, this is like what I'm either going to continue doing or what I'm not going to continue. Like either what I'm going to keep doing the thing that I've always been doing, or I'm definitely not going to do the thing that I haven't been doing.
I feel it. Okay, good. All right.
I'm going to not change my habits of listening to Beyonce all the time.
Well, that was never in a debate whatsoever.
Allegedly, on January 14th, we're getting something new. And I think it's going to be finally Act 3, the rock album. I'm very excited.
I think Act 3, so far we've said death metal and we've said ska.
Said death metal and ska. I definitely think it's going to be a rock
What
album.
what if she pulls a what if she pulls a Queen Latifah and just makes it a jazz album?
I'll still listen to it. I don't care.
Give it a bit, papu. Freedom. Zebra-doo.
I mean, she already did Etta James, so why not?
What do you mean she did that, James?
She was Etta James in the biopic.
What biopic? Cadillac Records?
Yes.
She was Etta James?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, pull up Cadillac Records.
Because Etta James was unhappy with how she sang. She was unhappy that she sang At Last, and she was giving her some shade about it. You don't remember this movie?
I mean, I'm the one who said the movie, so I remember the movie.
Don't remember?
I just don't remember the plot of the movie.
I think
So I don't remember the movie.
It was a biopic about Cadillac Records.
Is Terrence Howard in the movie?
Biographical film.
Is Terrence Howard in the movie?
I will tell you. Hold on.
Okay.
Explores the musical era from the early 1940s to the late 1960s, chronicling the life of the influential Chicago-based record company executive Leonard Chess. So it's a few different musicians, but she was Etta James in that movie. Now, what were you asking me?
Is Terrence Howard in the movie?
Let me look.
Because
Columbus Short is in the movie.
Jeffrey Wright. That's who I was thinking of. Jeffrey Wright.
Cedric the Entertainer was in the movie. I mean, it had a pretty star-studded cast, I guess. Adrian Brody. I'm very surprised that Columbus Short was.
Because I wasn't Adrian Brody the love interest for Beyonce, Etta James. Where is it showing? Show me where it's showing, if anywhere. Probably
Prime
no.
Video,
Hulu,
and Amazon.
I'm gonna watch that tonight because I don't
You're
have to
gonna
go
watch Cadillac Records tonight.
Maybe.
I mean,
Probably not.
Yeah,
probably.
There's about 10 movies you've talked about on this podcast. Well, maybe I'm gonna watch that tonight. You have not watched.
Well, to be fair, I can't really. It's fine.
You can't watch TV. You can't watch TV.
I mean, I can watch
You
TV,
can't watch TV,
but like it's.
Did we not just watch the whole Squid Games?
It's not the same.
Okay.
It's just
You
not
just
the same.
Want to have your pity party and talk about all the things you can't do.
My ass is not the pity party. Mm-hmm. I know you're not. You're the last person.
You're the last person who needs to be saying that.
I work.
And so do I.
What do you call it? I Rihanna work.
No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
No.
Yes, I do.
You Rita Ora work.
Rita Ora. No, how dare you? Rita Ora was at the New Year's Eve bash, and she was doing covers and also
Sounds
just
terrible.
phoning it in. I don't even know if she was phoning it in or if she was trying hard because I'm not familiar with Rita Ora's catalog.
What song does Rita Ora even
What's
have?
she known for?
I mean, she's a singer.
No, I mean, what
but
song
I
is she
don't
known
know.
for?
That's what I'm looking for.
Like, what's her? If you go to Spotify, let me
why
go
does
to
it say
Spotify.
Rita Ora greatest hits? She does not have any. Let's see. Top 10 Rita Ora songs. Why is none of it coming up? Does she not have
How do you spell Rita Ora?
Rita and then Ora, O-R-A?
Okay.
She has a song called R.I.P. with Teeny Tempa. Shine Your Light from 2021. Never heard that.
So popular wise, it's For You with Rita Ora. I guess that's somebody else's song. Let You Love Me, Ritual, Your Song, and Praising You featuring Fatboy Slim. Okay, so that is like it's a cover, but that's a song that she covered, I guess, and made that.
I can tell
her
you,
song,
I'm looking
I
at all
guess.
these song titles.
I've never heard of Ritual. I've never heard
and
of
I
Let
can't tell
You Love Me.
what any of them sound like. So, I mean, she's married to the main thing that I know about her now is that she's married to what's his name? Taika. No, is it? I always mispronounce his name.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi.
Which, I mean, obviously he.
Wait, is she?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you did say that the other day.
Yes, she is married to him. She was a singer.
I mean, he has a great sense of humor.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
And very accomplished. She was a judge on The Masked Singer, which is like, if you tell me that Rita Ora is going to be judging my singing, I would be like, get out of here.
Well, to be fair, she's not judging like everyday people singing. She's judging some
celebrity.
She's judging Shannon Sharp in a bunny outfit. You know.
Side note, speaking of Shannon Sharp, only because it just reminded me of Skip Bayless. Did you hear about the Fox News Skip Bayless First Take or whatever lawsuit?
No, what's this?
Apparently,
Uh-oh.
Skip Bayless and some other folks at the Fox News are being sued because apparently Skip Bayless offered a hairstylist $1.5 million for sex, and that he made unwanted advances towards her.
Skip Bayless did.
That Skip Bayless did. And then she says also that Fox executives fostered a hostile work environment that allowed senior managers and on-air personalities, including Bayless, to abuse workers without fear of punishment. Apparently these things started happening in 2017. She said he offered her $1.5 million in 2021.
That's such a very specific figure.
To have sex, and if she refused, threatened her job. At $1.5 million would be a very hard sum to turn down.
Yeah.
For sex. But then the thing about it is like, okay, if you take this $1.5 million, and it's not going to just be one time.
I'm whipping out the Gawkmaster 3000 if I'm offered 1.5. What'd you say?
1.5 million.
1.5 million? Come on, that's seed money.
I mean, the thing is,
Hey, yes, it is seed money. Hey.
These are serious allegations.
I know.
So, get it together. $1.5 million is a lot of money. However, one, nothing costs your self-respect. Two, it probably wouldn't have just been one time. They said, he said, I'm going to give you $1.5 million and you have to have sex with me. And she said, okay. I'm sure
because what if it's like
keep trying to
bad?
come back? Well, also probably would be. Have you seen Skip Bayless? You want that man grunting over you for any amount of money? No. His face melting onto you? Gross. But he probably would have kept trying to get her to do it. Her name is Nushin Faraji.
His face does look like a wax candle.
Yeah, he would be melting on her. Her name is Nushin Faraji, and just from the name, I'm gonna assume that she is. It's an Arabic name, so I'm gonna assume she's Arabic, and so perhaps also Muslim, which would be even more of an incentive. Like that is not. That's haram. Of course. So I could imagine that she was even more, insulted that he would even ask her that. But anyway, someone offering you money for sex, is always a very weird thing to be doing, especially because why are you bothering me? You could go have sex, go find a sex worker if that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You can find anybody who'll do it. Anything you want to do.
Also, yeah,
why are you bothering me with this?
He is who he is, and when you're that far up to be fair, it's not a to be fair situation. I'm just trying to get into I'm trying to mind hunter this situation and trying to get into the mindset of somebody. If you can do what you want at a certain point in time, the challenge is, I guess, in approaching individuals who are not within the sphere of yes man or yes sir. To see what you can do with just, I guess, regular people, you know?
Yeah, but I think that, people with money, especially...
But it's such a risk. It's
white
such a
men with
high
money
risk.
Will always try and do some bullshit because they think they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Because she had been at Fox for, I think it said she was a hairdresser there for 10 years. So, I'm sure he figured, why not? But, leave me alone. I don't have any, go find somebody, get somebody else to do it. You could go find anybody else. You want to give them money. You want to
probably another hairdresser.
And there might have been people who have been perfectly okay with that. You can have yourself a little sugar baby if you want to. Why are you bothering me with this? At least the fact of the asking, okay, I want to have sex with you. I'll give you this $1.5 million. That's not where the issue comes in. It's when she said no and he threatened her. Because then you're harassing me.
Yeah, now that's a harassment situation.
Because then it's like, I said no, okay, go find somebody else. There's so many people. Do you know how many people are on that Sugar Babies website? So many. Go sign up. Get your assistant to find someone. I'm sure they could do that for you. And now I'm curious. I wonder if this might have been one of the reasons Shannon Sharp left the show.
How do you get into? Sorry, this made me think about how does one person get into financial dominatrix? You know how
yeah, you could just sign up you could sign up to be like a sugar baby. You could sign up online, get a Twitter.
No, but you know those specific dominatrixes.
Yeah, I know. I'm literally telling you.
You sign up to be a sugar baby.
Listen. Stop interrupting me, and I will tell you.
I am just repeating what you said so that I understand.
Okay.
What the layout is.
You can sign up to be a sugar baby.
Sure.
And in your swiping left or right on these websites, you can find someone who would want to have a findom, or you can make a Twitter, OnlyFans, or whatever of these other sites, and people could reach out to you about it, similarly to any other type of sex work.
I mean, but it's less of a sex work and more of a fetish, right?
No, but that's still a form of sex work.
To be a financial dominatrix?
Yeah, I think that's
you
a
know
form
what
of sex
I'm
work.
talking about.
Yes,
when
I know
when
what you're
say it.
talking about. I am not confused. I am telling you.
Because I
know people who do this, and I'm giving you the information.
So you start out as a sugar baby.
No, you don't have to start out as a sugar baby. I'm just saying that can be a route that you can take. Some people, they can start off as do sugar baby and like go from there. Some people, they just create maybe a website, Twitter, and OnlyFans, or whatever the case may be, and they go from there. There's this black woman, I forget her name, but I've been following her for a while, and she does classes. You could learn how to be a findom. Like, there are some men that really, or people in general, who like that. If you are looking for a fin dominatrix, please reach out to me. I would love to tell you to give me
I don't think
money.
you have the heart to do it.
I 100% have the heart to do it. Okay,
not really.
If you
have too much empathy.
Not for people who want to give me money. What's my empathy? You want to do it? I'm gonna take it.
I don't see it.
I'm not coercing anybody out of their money. That's where I would have the empathy. If you are looking for someone to tell you that you are a filthy fucking pig and to give me $200, I will 100% be that person for you. Okay? I have no qualms.
Okay.
And it's because it's not. I mean, only reason that I guess some people might say it's not sex work because you don't have to do anything sexual. It could literally just be like, "Hey, dirtbag, give me money. I want this. How much money are you giving me today?" But I do feel like those people are. The reason I call it sex work is because I feel like they're people who are getting some sort of sexual pleasure.
There's probably some like pleasure out of it, and then there's also
it's a kink.
It is a kink, and then there's also sorry. Without giving too much away, without giving anything away, one of the components of a lot of people who either are porn stars or have OnlyFans or what have you, they have this registry where they ask for their fans or followers to buy them these things. You know what I mean? Like buy this outfit or this butt plug or this fucking like, you know, sometimes it's in the enhancement of
you want to see a scene,
sexual experience,
buy me this thing and I'll do it for you.
And then I'll do it for you. But sometimes I look at them and I'm just like, all right, like I get that you have the foxtail, hooray, that makes sense because you could use that. You have these lacy nylons. You have the dragon dildo. Like, I get that you could use that. fucking. But now you have a Nintendo Switch on here, and this is just what are you using a Nintendo Switch
I'm
for
using
with
it
the content
to,
creation?
I'm playing the Switch.
PlayStation 5.
I'm playing it while I'm in my whatever gear.
Then get
and
a
you like
joystick. Like just use the joystick.
No, why? If they're gonna buy it, why not let them?
That's just too greedy.
It's not greedy. They're wanting you to put your body in different sort of places and do all these things. Why does it matter?
If you put the games on there too, like
Yeah.
if I go on there and I see that you
play
have
Crash Bandicoot while I'm in my freaking furry outfit with a foxtail butt
looking like
plug.
a cow, looking like not a cow, but like
Yes.
like the horns.
If you want me to do
not the
that? For
udders.
sure. Great. Let's go ahead.
All right.
Have a great time. I'm not. Why should I be, being, what is the word? Frugal. For people who are asking me to put my body,
Sometimes
my
you gotta
reputation on the line.
Sometimes you gotta do more with less.
No, not for that. No.
Sometimes you gotta just make whatever you
No.
have work within your
If you want,
range and budget.
want to have me out here doing things for you, cash me out.
Okay, fair enough. Is there anything else that you want to cover?
Well, we haven't done what we could do our first year. What makes me happy, and what's pissing us off.
Is there anything that's doing either of those things?
I don't know. Let's do the segment, and we'll find out.
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This is space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
What's making you angry this week?
What's making me angry this week? The irony. Irony is what's making me angry this week.
The irony of what?
The irony that I myself just went on a whole tirade about the benefits of rigidity. Rigidity? Rigidity.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm not in a position to suggest certain things because some people are very rigid, if that makes sense.
Are you talking about me?
I'm not talking about you.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about work.
Don't lie. Don't be a liar. You're such a liar. That's what's making me angry this week. That your fact that you're a big fat liar.
First off, nobody is talking about you.
Okay.
I'm laughing because it's hilarious to me, like that you would put me like. Come,
I thought you wanted to be vulnerable. I thought this was a place for you to be vulnerable. You just said that.
When I am talking about you, I will talk about you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I am talking about you, no, sir. I can't get into the details of it, but a certain coworker of mine has a very specific way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we could stand to do it differently, but he's very much,
What is it that they are?
I can't. It's a relatively new process that we've put into place. And I just think that there's another way, and I get the sense that even if I suggest it to him, he's gonna be like, no, it has to be this way, because that's just the way he is.
You never know until you suggest it. I mean,
I've done it in the past already.
Well, maybe you should be like, hey, I'm just noticing these things.
Sometimes you just don't want to keep doing the same fucking thing over and over again, and be met with the same fucking
Well,
uh
you never know until you do it. You gotta just maybe find a new way to get to the wall.
Okay. Find a new way to get to the wall.
Through the wall. Find a new way.
So much work.
Yeah, but you know what? That's life.
Sure.
That's adulting.
Sure.
Is there anything else making you upset this week?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think so. I think that might be the only thing. I can't think of anything else. Anyhow, what's making you upset?
Okay, what's making me upset this week?
Oh, Drake has a new freestyle out, and it's just him being a Karen. I think it's called Fighting Irish. He did the thing where he released it, but then he deleted it. Like, he tried to put it out to test the waters and like see what the reaction was, but then he deleted it and didn't put it out through his label because he's beefing with his label. And it's more Kendrick disses. It's stupid. Like, it's not good. It's Kendrick disses and LeBron James disses?
Yeah, I did hear something about this, but I did not hear about it. But I just looked it up. Let's see. He says, the world fell in love with the gimmicks. Even my brothers got tickets. Seemed like they loved every minute. Just know this shit is personal to us, and it wasn't just business. And people cry the blues for you, saying it wasn't malicious, talking about we family. Well, I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid we ever got to tarnish your public image. All that brother talk as if I really discovered a sibling. 6 degrees, my memories retrieving our humble beginnings. What humble beginnings did you have with LeBron?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, he's such a Karen at this point. Like, he's made a career out of doing a bunch of shady, nasty shit. Like, not like nasty, but like,
Well,
kind of nasty.
kind of.
Yeah, nasty adjacent. Sleeping with motherfuckers.
I mean, some of the stuff might be nasty. We just don't know.
Talking about different people's women.
He's been
and
a
shit.
creep and a weirdo for a long time now.
He has been a creep and a weirdo. Freaky
Yeah.
ass nigga. He's a 69 god.
You know? Were you looking for the mustard one?
Yeah. Where is the mustard one?
Oh, the Golden Globes is tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah. You know that it's funny that after Kendrick came out with the song, and he was like, "What is it? The braids that Drake cut his hair off."
Right. You notice that it's mad shorter now.
What is it? The braids?
It's the braids are gone.
Certified lover boy. Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I believe.
All right. That's enough of that. Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay. What's making me angry this week is the weather.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Why can't we sing that song after Christmas?
Why can't? What do you mean? Why we can't? Why can't? Who said we can't?
Because I never hear it anywhere.
We'll sing it if you want to. It's your prerogative.
Yes, I know that I can do whatever I want when I want.
Outside is frightful.
I'm just saying that December is not the only snow month. We have 1 to 2 snow months.
No, we got December. Usually, sometimes November.
I was
usually
saying
December,
after Christmas we have 1 to 2 snow months
January,
left over.
February, but sometimes March.
Sometimes March.
Sometimes March. My mom said there was a snowstorm, I think, on her birthday. When she was born, actually.
When's her birthday?
March 21st.
Okay, all right. Oh, sorry. I just remembered somebody's birthday is March 15th. The Ides of March, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ugh.
Whose birthday is it?
What's his face? Oh, wow. Talk to them all the time, forgetting their name. Kirsten. There. And her sister, because they're twins.
They're twins. Okay, so what's pissing me off is the weather, because it's been really cold. Number 2, what's pissing me off is COVID, because I feel like the quarantine completely fucked up the school system.
Shout out to Sam, recovering from the Rona.
Oh, he had COVID?
Yeah, he did.
Garrett had COVID too.
Who?
Amity's husband.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just didn't hear who you said. I know who he is. I just didn't know who you said. Whose name you said.
Also, I'm pissed off at dog fosters who don't listen to the trainers and also do not take care of the animals they're supposed to be fostering, because it just makes everything harder on everybody else. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Because I got Brooklyn back, and he has a weird rash thing in his ear and a weird bump on his neck that he did not have before. And also I found out he was not being treated the way he should be treated. So all of it is just really shitty and terrible. So if anybody would like to adopt a pit bull, please let me know. All right.
Yeah.
We can move on to what made us happy this week.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
What's making you happy this week? You go first. Because I just went first.
What's making me happy this week? I am enjoying my new job. Even though it's a lot of stress and shenanigans. And I think that's the main thing, like just that I'm enjoying that. And doing this podcast with you. And, spending time with you. And, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. For me, doing this podcast with you, having a lot of downtime, I will say. I have enjoyed the downtime that I've had. Like, this is after weeks and weeks and weeks in December of every single weekend being some fucking thing that we have to do, some weird obligation or whatever. Like, it was nice that this week to be fair, I got sick earlier in the week, called out of work, was struggling throughout the week when I went back to work. Kind of got chastised by one of my coworkers, like, oh, maybe you should have stayed home. I'm like, well, okay. Do you have the sick days to give me so that I can stay home?
How many sick days do you actually get?
I get one. Well, I get one a month essentially. So for a year, I get because they accumulate a month. It's weird to be like, oh, I get 12 sick days a year when it only accumulates a month. You know what I mean? So. But I get 12 a year, one a month, essentially.
Which is not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Because what happens if you got really sick? You need to stay out more days, but
yeah, it's stupid. But it was also New Year's. I had that day off. It was an abbreviated work week, essentially, and tomorrow. At least the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be on PMs, so that'll be good in a way, I guess. Having some consistency. I was actually going to talk to you about this. Like, I'm going to see if, like, maybe I could just stay on PMs until until we get another manager. Just stay there. Because the upsides of PMs are more than the upsides of the AMs.
Yeah, but the downside of PMs is we get no time together, and it's like, I mean, sure, you're allowed to do whatever you want. So if that makes you happy, then.
Well, none of this working doesn't make me happy. None of this makes me happy. Like, I'm not happy doing this. I'm not happy doing this work. But, you know, we could talk about that a little bit later. At any rate, as far as what else made me happy, yeah, the abbreviated week, doing this podcast with you, and my health.
Yes.
Because even though I am broke as a joke, even though I'm Poe, for sure.
Don't talk about yourself like that.
It's not downing myself. I'm just talking about the state of affairs of my finances. Like I'm fucking Poe.
Negative, those negative things stay consistent. Hence why you've been talking about yourself being broke all this time. And I keep saying, stop saying you're broke because you're gonna stay broke. And here we are.
I could go the other way and then nothing will change.
That's not true.
Okay.
But if maybe you could try it and stop being so rigid and stubborn.
I bring up one thing about rigidity and you milk it like the fat cow that you feel like it is. Anyhow, that's what's making me happy. So, yeah. Hooray. that everything that I just said made me happy.
Okay, I'm glad that even though one thing I would say is even though we are, this new year, it is having its ups and downs, we are making it work, we're figuring it out, and we are doing whatever we need to do to keep ourselves consistent with this podcast and figuring out all the other things that we need to do throughout this life. So I think that's a good thing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, if that's everything, then everything has been said. So how about we take our time to ease on down the road to get the fuck out of here. Thank you all for listening and watching. We will be back. Let us know. Reach out to us. Let us know if y'all are liking the podcast. If y'all have any not concepts. If y'all have any feedback, or if y'all have any comments. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Comments. Concerns, feedback. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Do all the things that I'm going to tell you in the thing that comes after this. But yeah, take it easy, keep it sleazy. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's That'sOD_THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.